What's going on, guys? Boy Joey Shakes.
What's going
Philly
on, man?
Jim.
This
Philly
is
Jim, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, man?
So, Ian Rappaport tweeted out at 10:38 p.m. tonight that Ajayi will be working out for the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow. What does this mean? Your take, Philly Jim.
Well, I don't know what the fuck it means. I'm the wrong person to ask what it means. But it can mean two things. Number one, Darren Sproles got hurt again. Again.
I didn't know that.
So it's like every year we re-sign this guy, and every year he gets fucking injured, and you get injured again. So, I mean, it could just be that, we're finally sick of Darren Sproles' bullshit, and we need another running back in here who knows the system. JJ knows the system, and he's a pretty good player. So, we'll see. We'll see about that. But the other side of the equation is, and I don't trust shit. I've seen too much shit go on with players getting hurt and players. Fucking Alshon Jeffrey is an example. The guy was hurt. He obviously wasn't 100%, and he looked like shit. And it's because these players are not getting the right treatment, and they're going back out there too early. So, I mean, I don't trust shit with Jordan Howard. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. If I see Jordan Howard lower his shoulder and hit these linebackers in the mouth, then I'll believe it. Then I'll believe he's good. But other than that, man, if Jordan Howard rather is more banged up, I'm going to be really fucking pissed because I really don't think with all the injuries we have at receiver, this is the one player that we cannot afford to lose at this point. So I hope everything's good there. But, if this is just a matter of guy to come in and replace Sproles, I'm all for it. I would way rather have Ajayi than Darren Sproles because Darren Sproles ain't doing shit for us, man. And people will say, oh, well, he's a return specialist. Well, he's pretty good at being a return specialist. But you know what? I'll put Boston Scott back there. He can fucking he can do the same shit Sproles can do, and he's younger. So, you know what? I've been saying this for shit since last year, probably. Should just fucking cut Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles is a waste of a roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm done with Darren Sproles. So, but I hope Jordan Howard's shit isn't too serious. But I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I mean, it sounds from what I'm reading from everybody, it just sounds like it's more Sproles than it is. I think Howard just being like limited. I think maybe he is a little banged up, but it might be something to where if Sproles re-injured, I'm reading Sproles re-injured his quad on Thursday today. That's what I'm reading. So if that's the case, with Howard already being limited, they kind of want to put a body there, I guess, because at this point, like, this offensive line is doing pretty damn good. And, Ajayi hasn't really played in a year, but I've been kind of looking. I've been seeing like NFL UK has been putting a lot of stuff out on him as well. And he looks
in shape.
He's in really good shape right now. Like he's in really good shape. I think he's visited I know he visited the Colts before the year started. And then I don't know if he visited another team. I forgot. I know he visited he worked out for another team. Maybe I'm wrong.
He visited the Texans earlier this year.
So at this point, I think Sproles hasn't done anything. Honestly, the most he's ever ran the ball was probably the first week. I mean, probably the most he's run. I could be wrong, but special teams wise, he hasn't, he's good for punt returns, but I mean, at this point, we just can't nurse this anymore. And we just need to put somebody at punt returns, put Boston Scott back there. He'll be on the roster most likely, which I'm fine with. And that's just another running back you could have on the roster too, if you need him to suit up as well. But with Darren Sproles re-injured again, and I think it sounds like it's more Darren Sproles than it's Howard. I feel like it's more, if they need to rest Howard this week, it is what it is. But I don't think it's like season ending. I'm hoping not, but it sounds like it's more of the Sproles re-injuring his quad. You know how quad and calf and that shit could linger for fucking weeks. Okay, so at this point, I don't know what's gonna happen, but this was a pretty late tweet by Ian Rappaport today, so I don't know what the case of that is, but
Yeah, I just a few minutes ago, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Not long ago. But, man, yeah, I really, really don't think we can afford to lose Jordan Howard. So the best case scenario is that Jordan is just a little banged up, a little sore.
Right.
And he's fine. Like, and he's probably fine. But if he's not fine, which we won't know till Sunday, if he's not fine, not good. But if it's just a matter of Sproles, all for it, 100%.
I mean, this must have been like at practice with Howard because like the bye week just happened. He comes back and then this happens. I mean, we need as many guys as possible. I mean, Doug can't just nurse, Darren Sproles with this injury and just say, we'll just go into this game, these next 2 games with what we have. And we can't. We need a run game. We really need guys in the backfield. And this is a good thing, at least for the rest of this year. I mean, if you have everybody back after this game this week, if we could pull off a win, and you could pretty much potentially have a 3-headed monster in the backfield with all 3 of these guys. God forbid if Sanders, or God forbid if Jordan Howard isn't feeling well or needs to sit out for a few plays, you can always put Ajayi in. They're going to monitor him and see how he is. Like I said, hasn't played in a year, but is fully healthy and ready to go. So I think he's just going to take a few snaps, get his body. He probably won't be the same this year just because hasn't played in a while, but it's just going to, just get him the reps and, see what happens. I mean, it's better than nothing. So, I mean,
right.
And if Ajayi, the good thing about getting players that know the system and know that, this guy won a Super Bowl here. He was a big part of that game, big part of the year, big move that happened at the trade deadline. So it's more likely that this signing will happen. And, he'll be full in with us for the rest of the year. So it's not a bad thing at all. It's not like it's a guy we've never had on our team before. So that's what the good thing about it is.
Yeah. You bring in guys like Matthews and you bring in Ajayi. These guys are already familiar with the team. They're already familiar with a lot of the players that were here. Obviously, Jordan's been here 3 different times in his career, 2 other times outside of him being drafted here. So he knows shit. And Jay came over in 2017 with that trade with the Dolphins, and was a big piece in a Super Bowl run. So he's familiar with Doug, and he knows what Doug tries to do with his running backs. So knows Stu Staley really well. So it's like you said, we don't got to worry about bringing in some guy that I don't even know who I could use as an example because I haven't been looking at free agent running backs for obvious reasons because we're pretty set there. But it's better than bringing in some guy who's never played here. So
yeah.
These guys know what they're doing, and they know what's expected around here, and they know the plays. So I think it'll be a good thing for us in the end. But yeah, I mean, 3-headed monster talk. That's pretty much what we had to talk about before the season started. With obviously people knew about Miles Sanders coming out of Penn State, and people knew. Jordan Howard is a former 1,000-yard rusher. People knew these things, but, Corey Clement, they expected him to do something, and he really wasn't even seeing the field whatsoever. And he got injured, and he got placed under reserve. So he's gone. He's out of the equation. And Sproul, it's like I said, there's a lot of players on this team that I'm just fucking tired of. I'm just tired of the shit. It's just like it's so redundant with these guys. And, Darren Sproles is the top of that list. We always re-sign him even when we're like, okay, Darren, He came over in that trade from the Saints and really had some big plays for us. But dude, he was done. He was probably done in 17 when he tore his ACL against the Giants in the opener. I think that was the end of Darren Sproles. And also the Eagles, if you look back in that year, the Eagles really weren't even playing well in the running game. We had LeGarrette Blount, we had Clement on the roster, and we had Darren Sproles. So at that point, we had this big horse in our backfield, LeGarrette Blount. He wasn't getting any damn touches because Darren Sproles. And we had one of the worst rushing attacks in the league that year to start the season. And then once Darren Sproles got hurt, we started giving Garrett Blount a lot of carries when we traded for Ajayi, and we were third in the league in rushing yards a year. So, I just think Darren Sproles would have been done. But Doug has a huge affection for Darren Sproles. It's actually bad. It's actually bad that he has an affection for him, because he should have an affection for players that are younger and better than him, which is what Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders are. So, I was not too thrilled about the whole fucking Darren Sproles signing. And I'm being dead serious right now. There's a commercial that people in the Philadelphia area, I see it all the time. And it's of Darren Sproles, and it's like he's having a press conference. Forget what this commercial was for, but he's at a press conference and he's got a bunch of people asking him questions, and they're like, "Oh, Darren, you're coming out of retirement." And I'm sitting there like, man, I wish his ass would retire so he can come out of retirement and go sign with some other fucking team, because I'm so redundant. I'm so I'm kind of tired of it. And listen, with Jason Peters is a future Hall of Famer, but guess what, man? All good things come to an end, and I kind of have a problem with the team putting Andre Dillard, who absolutely handled Khalil Mack the same way Peter handled Khalil Mack in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dillard, if you're asking a lot from a rookie offensive lineman to come in and say, hey, don't let Khalil Mack touch Carson Wentz the whole game. And he fucking did it, and you're going to put him back on the shelf because Jason Peters. And I understand Jason Peters is great. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Probably number 71, I think, will be retired by the Philadelphia Eagles. But, man, when he retires and Sproles retires, I'm just going to say, finally. Anyway, that's all I can say about that shit.
Yeah, no, and then you have, you got Corey Clement back there. Is Corey Clement one of those, a Patriots piece where he just fit in and that's really all he's going to be just for that 1 year or whatever? It just sucks to see him sitting back there and just not doing anything at all. And I was half and half on the Sproles thing, but I knew it wasn't a good move to do because it was taking away a spot for somebody else. You don't know if you're going to have an upcoming running back. God forbid you have someone on practice squad that can run. You have no idea. You never know what you really have. And, they sat him out. It's pretty much like a done deal when Sproles came here. Then, Sproles didn't play the whole preseason because he never does because of his age, just like Jason Peters never really plays in the preseason at all. So he sits out. And, like you said, the opener to the Giants in 17, Doug used shit out of Sproles, and he gets hurt for it. And to be honest, if it was a blessing in disguise because if Sproles didn't get hurt, with Sproles getting hurt, we got to see what Corey Clement could do. And it worked out for us. It really did. So hopefully this with Darren, hopefully what's going on right now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I honestly think it's more Sproles not being around, honestly, than
I agree with you.
I don't know how bad the shoulder is.
Right.
He was limited. It was Thursday when they came out with the report, so if he was going to be completely out, I think
Right. I don't think he's going to miss the game
No.
at all, but, it's not a matter of is he going to miss the game. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey, they said he was good, and he obviously was not good, and he's obviously not good now. He hasn't practiced. He didn't practice yesterday or today. So, is this finally the time for the rookie JJ Arcega-Whiteside to get his opportunity? We'll see about that. But, just because players say they're good and players are limited with this team, I don't trust shit. So that's why I'm just naturally skeptical and suspicious about it. So if he comes into the game and they give him a bunch of carries and he's hitting, Kyle Van Noy in the mouth coming up the middle, but if he does that, then he's good. But I really hope it's the opposite, and it's like you said. I think it probably is. I think it probably does have more to do with Sproles, but regardless, I'm fucking skeptical of this shit. But because I've seen it too many fucking times the last couple of years, so it's just the way. It's just become a tendency of mine to say when I see the injury report and I see certain players on. It was like last year with Carson Wentz. It was early in the season,
right?
And then it was like, oh, Carson Wentz has back soreness or something. It was early in the season. It was way before, we really noticed something was wrong with him. And I was like, yo, what the fuck happened to Carson Wentz? Like, when did this happen? Because I couldn't remember him, hurting his back, even though he was taking a lot of hits. So I guess that's what caused it. But at that point, I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Because I don't want it to end up the same way it did with Wentz. That's why I'm very skeptical about it. But on Sunday, all my skepticism could be thrown out the window if Jordan just comes out and does what he does.
Yeah. Darren, JHI worked for he worked out for the Lions November 1st. I knew he worked out for the second team, so I guess that didn't work out. Yeah, it all makes it makes sense. I wasn't expecting this 100% at all. Like,
no, me neither.
Because we haven't heard JHI's name in a while, so I guess bring back familiar faces and try to do something with it. I think JHI could thrive with this offense, especially with the offensive line playing at a high level, opening up those big holes for all these running backs as it is right now. And I think JHI is good out of the backfield, but whether you're passing to him or whatever you're doing with him, he's a very violent running back. We all know he's violent. He's like another Jordan Howard, but the guy just finds open space and just pummels through people as much as possible, doesn't care. So you could tire out defenses with this, this three-headed group. Or if you go into this game and, you could be going into this game they could just say they do sit out Jordan Howard this week, just as a precautionary reason like that. Should we even, if JJ comes in, should we just, I don't at this point. I really don't. I think, it sucks because we just came off a bye. This happened. So do you want to, and how Jordan Howard, he's got to pick up blitzes. He's got to use his shoulder to pick up blitzes, you know what I mean? And he hits real hard on those things. So this is where it's going to come into account. If we need to sit Jordan Howard out for 1 week, put Ajayi in there with Miles Sanders and maybe work something out. So, it's not a horrible thing. I'm just glad that we can kind of not fully replace it, but it's pretty good that we could bring a player back like that, and we're not like in panic mode. Because you lose Jordan Howard, you're just relying on Miles Sanders with his quickness, and we need to tire out defensive lines. We need to tire out defenses so we can pass the ball and there's no pass rush. And because this defense with the Patriots, we're facing a pretty good defense this week. So we need to be on key and on time with everything. I know we don't have speed at the wide receiver core right now. I know that's just something we're just going to have to deal with, unfortunately. And we just have to rely on whatever Doug's creativity with these plays. And hopefully Mike Groh comes up with some fucking game plan this week, because I'm telling you right now, if I see the same fucking plays done over and over again, if I see the Eagles as usual being their usual, you know what plays coming type self on certain plays where you know it's coming because they've done the
Right.
same plays a million times. You just think about a few games like in the Buffalo game, we did that little handoff, the little handoff to Nelson Aguilar, and they read it the second time. I mean, just stuff like that. Like if you see stuff like that happening, they make it so damn obvious. But we need some creativity here,
Yeah.
and hopefully Jordan Matthews could do something. So I think Carson's going to be on fire for this game, and really, he can't do it by himself. He can't catch his own fucking football, as we all know. So hopefully, we could get something done. But this whole Jay Ajayi thing it's a little surprise. It's a little surprising, but at the same time, we weren't. I'm like seeing it. I just went on, and the first thing popped up was that, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, very late at night too. So. Most likely he's going to be signed tomorrow. I mean, that's probably going to happen. They just want to bring him in for a physical and whatever it is. So
Right. So, I mean, I'll tell you one day I'm looking forward to for this game. They've been listing Alshon on the injury report, and you know what? And they keep saying how, and it sucks to be down a receiver, but it also sucks. I've said it for weeks that I feel like they've been putting JJ in a really bad situation for a second round pick for a rookie. Haven't really been giving him any opportunities to play. Like I said on Read and React last night, I said this. So you have one guy that's saying he doesn't know all the positions and he's still learning all the positions.
Right.
Another coach that says he knows all the positions. So I'm sitting here like, all right, if he knows all the positions and he can play all the positions, why ain't he fucking playing? So there's a contradiction going on with the coaching staff, and that pretty much just sums up the 2019 Philadelphia Eagles. But if what Mike Groh always says is the truth, that Whiteside is the one who backs up Alshon, therefore he'll only play if Alshon gets hurt. If Alshon's hurt, if you do the math, I'm no mathematician, but that would mean Whiteside is going to get some fucking playing time. So all the bust talk could be out the window if he comes in and makes some plays. Because I think the jury's still out on him. I don't think he's a bust whatsoever.
No.
If he comes out and redeems himself for that drop pass against Detroit, a lot of people are going to be excited about this kid, and they're going to say, hey, Alshon, you can chill over there, buddy. We're good. That's what I'm hoping for. Probably more than anything this week.
So we're gonna see if Mike Rowe is full of shit because Mike Rowe said that because Alshon Jeffrey's healthy, he wasn't in the game. So now Alshon Jeffrey, second day of practice, hasn't fucking practiced at all. So most likely he's not playing this week. So if I see Mac Hollins in his fucking spot Sunday, we're going to war with this fucking asshole. I'm telling you, it's going to be bad. Yeah. It's going to be really bad.
Someone here is full of shit, regardless, because it's like I said, you got one guy saying he doesn't know all the positions. You got one guy saying he does. So, and that's the first time we've heard that he said that JJ knows all the positions. But if now that has come out and he still doesn't play, then we know who's full of shit. And actually, both of them are probably full of shit, at least a little bit. I don't really think any coach on this staff, except maybe Deuce and Jeff Stoutland and Doug, those are only three guys I actually trust. Everyone else, I think everyone else is full of shit. So,
Jim Schwartz is pretty straight up with a lot of things too. He doesn't really sugarcoat anything too much either. Like they asked him why is Sidney Jones not getting playing time, and he's pretty much like, well, we're getting guys healthy. We're getting more guys healthy coming back, which means Sidney Jones sucks fucking nutsack right now. So this Sidney Jones hype is fucking done and it's over with. And I hope me and you agree on that because it's over.
Jesus fucking Christ. But anyway, yeah, I think he's gonna. I think if he gets the opportunity to play, he will shine. I think he's a good player, and not every player is a fucking day one starter.
No, of course not.
Not
But I
every
mean,
player is starter.
you can't go off of one game with JJ Arcega-Whiteside because he dropped. I mean, Jesus Christ, the guy hasn't faced prime starters in a game. What preseason? Yeah, I do see something in him because preseason he was better than a lot of guys on in a preseason game, and he was running all over everybody and catching all over everybody. And I said, yeah, there's something with this guy that's working out well. But with a possession receiver, it takes so much chemistry with possession receivers. Like throwing 50-50 balls ain't fucking easy. Like it's even getting 50-50 balls ain't easy too, but they gotta have that. It's not like you're with a deep threat just to tell them to run past somebody and throw the ball wide open. This is a guy that you have to really work with throughout the week, every week, and really get that chemistry to throw those balls up, to know the strength of the receiver, where he's better over the shoulder, but whatever it is. But JJ has same height as Alshon Jeffrey, and I think honestly he has longer arms, bigger hand. I think he's more lengthy than Jeffrey. I think he's got the height, but he's same height, but more. He's very lengthy. His arms are just so damn long, and I mean, if he could just go up and grab these things, it would be amazing. But I swear to God, if I see Mac Hollins in Alshon Jeffrey's spot on Sunday, I'm telling you, and he doesn't even have more. If he doesn't even have at least more than two catches, it's a fucking joke. It's a real fucking joke. Even if we win the game, I'll be happy, but at the same time, be like,
100%.
we're gonna win by a very slight. I don't think this is definitely. I'm not thinking blowout this week. I'm thinking like this is gonna be close. So
I mean, it's pretty much it. This is a big game for Carson. It's a big game for this team. I think a lot of the guys are up for it. I think the guys know what is coming in here. I mean, this is New England Patriots we're talking about. Won the Super Bowl last year. We played them 2 years, obviously, but the team's completely different then. So we really need to get a win and get back on track and get to 6-4 and hopefully keep rolling from there. And after these next two games, schedule gets very easy. Dallas Cowboys, their schedule gets very hard. So when it comes to which one of these two teams is going to be the last man standing in the NFC East, I would say that it favors us, and in the sense that, yes, our schedule is more favorable, but even the games that are going to be harder games, like against Seattle, like against New England, like Dallas coming in, the second meeting, all three of those games are at home. And, other than that, we play the Giants twice, play Washington again, and you got the Miami Dolphins. So, but with Dallas, 4 of the next 7 games on the road, have to go to. We get to play New England here at home in Philadelphia, and they get to go in bitter, disgusting Foxborough, where the weather sucks. If you ever get in a game in Foxborough and it's raining, you're pretty much fucked. Like it's blowout city if those are the conditions. But they got a lot of games on the road, a lot of good teams they got to face on the road, a lot of good teams they got to face. Favors us. So as long as we handle our business, we are both tied at 5-4. We control our own destiny. We could be rolling into the playoffs, and if we're hot going into the playoffs, who knows what can happen after that? I mean, a lot of teams get hot at the end of the year, not necessarily playing well all season, but teams get hot. You've seen it with the New York Giants. They did it twice. The Baltimore Ravens in 2012. They were like a 4 seed, I think. I think they played one home playoff game. They had to go on the road to Denver, play Peyton Manning in a shootout, and they had to go to Foxborough once again to play the Patriots, and they handled business, and they held the Lombardi Trophy. So it's all about getting hot at the right time, handling business. Team ain't dead yet, so as bad as it looked a few weeks ago, we're in a very good spot right now.
Yeah, as much as we were really as much as we were really I don't know, complaining about the defense so much because we had, the corner spot was really screwed up. I mean, it kind of, I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot better now. And it's weird to say right now that Mills actually hasn't really got deadly beat, too much. He's
Oh.
been very close to receivers, to be honest with you. Which is kind of crazy. But what do you think looks better with this Eagles team, like especially coming off the bye? Like, what do you think has looked better throughout mid-season, mid part of the year? Like, do you think the pass rush looks better? Do you
For
think?
sure.
Yeah, I think the pass rush looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox, it seems like he's 100% now, which is great. And Malcolm was talking about how like they really needed that bye week, like it really helped. But week 10 is perfect. It's perfect, perfect week for the bye. It's a perfect week. It's right dead middle, and you're ready for the rest of the year. It's not too early, so it's great. So,
Yeah. Another guy I want to bring up is Brandon Graham. You're talking about a guy who was nowhere to be seen at the beginning of the season, but five of the last, I think he's got six. I think he's had 6 sacks in the last 5 games. So Brandon Graham, BG, know him for the strip sack. You talked about that earlier this week, but these guys are not focused on the Super Bowl, but
no,
we're looking for Brandon Graham to. Of course, Brandon Graham can tell the story of his strip sack when he retired his whole life, but he's got to focus on a big game. But he's played really well. Fletcher Cox has played really well. Gernard Avery came in immediately, made an immediate impact, had a sack on Mitchell Trubisky, adding him to the defensive end mix. Timmy Jernigan is back in the mix now, so that was much needed boost inside. So passers looking a lot better, and that's helped with the secondary. And we all know these guys are not all world guys. Now Jalen Mills, he's played really well. Darby had one bad play against the Chicago Bears, but it looked like on the play that Malcolm Jenkins he was supposed to be there on the backside, and he was not. So the guys got to communicate better, but for the most part, Darby, Mills, both have played well, and having Avonte Maddox back is very, very big for this football team, especially I would say more this week than ever, because we all know while Rob Gronkowski is no longer there in New England, you have to deal with Julian Edelman, and Julian Edelman can be an absolute headache. Catching these it's not that Julian will take the top off or he has speed, but he has great hands, great technique, very good at running routes, finds ways to get open, make all the catches. But this is the thing in the slot. You got to have a guy who has the quickness to keep up with him, because, like I said, his footwork is out of this world. His technique's out of this world. So Avonte, it's a really good matchup. I think we couldn't really ask for anything better. Maybe not unless we had Crayvon LeBlanc back, and we'll see if he's able to return to the mix at either against Seattle or some point before the season's over. It would be huge to get him back as well, because he's also another playmaker. He, along with Maddox, really when we had all those injuries last year, those were the two guys that really stepped up, and they shined more than anyone. So I think Avonte, he's got a big task, but I think he can. I actually think he can handle it pretty well.
Yeah. I don't care like what you have to do to win this game. Just want you to win this game. Like, I don't care if we're up by 14, we're up by 21. Right. I don't care. Like, the game is not over. You could be up by 3 or 4 scores and the game is not over. Like, I'll be happy if we score. I say the Eagles at the coin. I say the Eagles should just take the fucking football. I think the Eagles should just go on offense right in the beginning and just fucking just do it. Just get it done. Or if they want to take the cautious route and just play defense first, get the ball at the half, you never know. But I do want to take a jab at Brady a few times, try to get him on the ground, get into space. Fletch is going to be, healthy. I mean, I've been liking Hassan Ridgeway has actually played pretty damn well as a rotational guy. Has done a pretty good job. Josh Sweat has actually benefited from being a rotational defensive end. He's actually done pretty good. Derek Barnett, he's missed a few guys. He's missed some guys here and there this year. He's been all over the field making tackles. I mean, I can't really pop him too much, but at the same time, his sack numbers aren't there. I don't know how many he has this year. Maybe two, maybe three sacks. I could be wrong if I'm just remembering. But this D line needs to really get into their face. Nigel Bradham might be back this week. He was another guy that was limited as well. But I'm excited for the other linebackers as well, especially TJ Edwards coming to the mix too. So pretty good.
Yep. I'm just gonna say this one last thing about this game. I can't tell you how many years that I've been watching this team play, and we'll lose to teams that are not better than us, get blown out, play like shit. And then there's games where we come out and we're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, where was this team 3-4 weeks ago? And I said that a lot last year when we beat the Texans, when we beat the Rams. I was like, well, where the hell were you guys like 8 weeks ago? Would have been nice if you showed up then. And it happened this year. Really had a bad game in Atlanta, had another one in Detroit. Defense really stunk it up. And a lot of turnovers and shit. And then we come out and we give Green Bay one of their only 2 losses of the year. And Green Bay's rolling right now. Aaron Rodgers was playing unbelievable. He had an unbelievable game that night. And at that point, I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And with this game, I think it's going to be another game where I don't know how it's going to happen necessarily. I think we're going to win off the foot of a Jake Elliott field goal. That's my opinion. And Jake Elliott's going to be another hero as he has been most notably against the Giants, 61-yarder also. Had the game winner against them last year. But anyway, I don't know how it's going to happen, but after it does happen and after the game, everyone's immediate reaction is going to be like, where has this fucking team been? But I don't care when this team shows up, but no better time has come than now to show up. So they start showing up now. We got a favorable schedule, and this team could really get hot and be dangerous heading into the playoffs. So that's what I'm thinking, man. I just feel like this week is going to be that week where we go, what the actual fuck?
So do you guarantee a playoff? Do you guarantee us in the playoffs if we get these 2 wins?
Absolutely. If we go 2-0, we could be 12-4.
Yeah.
If we win these next 2 games, who can beat us besides Dallas? And Dallas coming in late December.
Last game.
Rigid temperatures, last game at home. After they beat our ass, we're going to be pissed off for that game too. So we're going to come for their throats. And, if that happens, 12-4, the hell. If Green Bay or Saints, they lost to Atlanta or some shit, if they have a couple more hiccups, who the hell knows what seed we could have. But it may not just be a 4 seed after all. I know this sounds crazy after all the bullshit that happened, but if you beat when you beat New England and you're 12-4, 12-4 can get you a first-round bye, I think.
Yeah. It's just a crazy end of the schedule is you're not facing good teams besides Dallas at the end of the year, and that's a big decision. If say we're already in the playoffs by that time, and if Doug decides to, I don't know if it's going to come. I don't know if it's going to come down to the last game because at this point, Dallas still has to face the Patriots as well. They still got the Bills. I forgot who else they got to go face either. So,
it's like I say, I don't think Doug is going to really rest starters.
No, he's not.
We're not in a situation where we're like so much far ahead of everybody. We're just like, oh, we already have shit locked up. But theoretically, we could. It's possible that we could have the NFC East by week 16 if we beat Dallas in that game. We could that could be the game that we clinch, which would be a big. I think it would be a big deal emotionally since Dallas swept us last year and they blew us out the first game. I think the team is going to be ready to play in that game. But anyway, if anything, if they even thought about resting the starters, I think it would be against the Giants in Week 17, the final game. But I just don't see it. I think Doug, if you're Doug and you want to have this team ready for the playoffs, then you don't want to miss a beat, and you want to keep rolling. And if you're 3-4, and hell, that would be what we were 3-4, so that would be a 9-game winning streak if we get to 12-4. So that's a pretty big deal if you're the Eagles heading into the playoffs on a 9-game winning streak. You're 3-4 and now you're 12-4. That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. So I think I think we got a lot of good things to look forward to. If we win the next 2 games, I think we run the table. But if you're the Eagles, you only have to win one of these games in your final.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
You're good. You're good. And Dallas, like I said, 4 last 7 on the road. They got to play a lot of good teams, way more good teams. It's like this. In the beginning of the season, you heard all the Dallas fans hooping and hollering about being 3-0 and beating the Dolphins and all that shit. Well, guess what? Now we get to play the Dolphins and we get to play the Redskins and we get to play the Giants twice. So it's our turn to go on the cakewalk. All right. Yeah. So that's and for Dallas, it's their turn to get smacked in the mouth a little bit because they got to play some really fucking good teams. And we outside of the next 2 weeks, we don't. So I'm down with that. So it's like I always say, it favors us. It's like I always say, all you got to do is get in the dance, and if you go into the dance and you're hot, look out, baby.
Yeah, imagine the games that we fucked up on earlier this year with 1 possession, 1 fucking catch. I mean, just crazy. We probably would be in more of a run right now, or more in to get into the playoffs a lot more earlier this year. I bet the Cowboys haven't played good either. They lost against the New York Jets. I don't even know. I don't even know how that was even possible because we kind of had Dallas winning that game pretty obviously that was going to happen. And then Green Bay gave them a loss as well. But, and then having, the Vikings help us out, giving a primetime game to Kirk Cousins, which really does not happen. A nice little win there for him. So
he was also 0-4 against Dak. Headed into that game.
So we have a huge shot right now. I think it's starting to pull. We're starting to pull in a little bit, and it's starting to, it's gonna go our way. And like you said, I think winning one of these games, I think it's pretty good as long as you don't shoot yourself in the foot against the Dolphins or the Giants. You know what I mean? And the Redskins, in those games, because honestly, we should be whooping some ass on those teams like it's nothing, and we should have a field day against those teams. So, just want to stay healthy, do what we got to do. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll hear news tomorrow what's going on, and hopefully tomorrow we'll find out a lot more about I think Fridays they come out with I think they come out with the final injury report for Sunday. I don't know if it's Saturday. I think it's Friday. I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens. I know a lot of people are worried about Jordan Howard right now, but we know he's hurt, but we don't know how bad it is. And from what I'm hearing, Darren Sproles re-injured his quad today. So we'll see what happens. I don't think Jordan Howard's out. Everyone's overreacting, and this is just I'm just going to ignore the people that overreact to it because people are just going to overreact. Say, oh my God, Jordan Howard's out for the rest of the year or something like that. If he was out for the rest of the year, it would have been said he's out for the rest of the year, or at least we don't really know. But other than that, I'm pretty much good with it. Just wanted to get on, do a quick live stream because I just saw the news. I was like, damn, what's going on? So that's it. I'm pretty much good with it. If you have anything to say about it.
I'm straight, guys. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. See you guys after the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't done it already, please go subscribe to the Read and React YouTube channel. We haven't used it yet, but it takes time, baby. So we got a lot of shit in the works. So just be patient with us, and it'll come in time. But please go check that out and follow the Twitter page as well. We'll have shit there. So other than that, I'm good. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.